Thanks, man. Yeah, Sahvir, Coach Green touched on this for a second. He said, if we can ever get that jumper going for him, I know that you haven't shot as well as you probably are capable of doing it. But can you just talk about what you're trying to improve on, and then apply that to the team? Montana's next. The schedule's just going to continue to get tougher and tougher as you guys move along.
Some of the things I have to work on, obviously some of the stuff you guys see are like the great double-doubles, but I think I'm averaging around 5 turnovers right now a game. I think that's something I need to improve on. There aren't mistakes that necessarily the other team is doing. It's just kind of like me. Sometimes trying to make a play that's not there or doing an unforced error, and I'm watching that on film. I'm knowing that I can be better in those situations. And obviously that you mentioned that my shot isn't falling right now. I mean, I haven't lost confidence. I'm unwavering at. I'm taking the shots that I probably wouldn't have taken last year, and that comes with confidence. So at some point, the ball is going to start going in. I have a continuous routine that I'm doing every day. I'm sticking to it. I'm trusting it. And I know with all hard work, it eventually pays off. So that's that as far as on that note.
Okay, up next, we're going to do Ryan Curley and then Jed May. The last name I said was Jed May. I didn't know if that went through.
Hey, Sahvir, I just want to talk a little bit about all the off-season work with all the new players. And it seems that you guys are starting to gel more and more every game, especially offensively. What did you guys do to bond off the court and become friends?
I think a great part of that was, even though we were, kind of like separated, not living together per se, but we were still all living in the same hotel. So we would see each other every day, obviously on the court, but off the court, we would walk, to the nearest Smoothie King, or, everyone would kind of car ride, carpool with each other, go get something to eat, or just to hang out. And once I kind of got my roommates and I finally got our living situation down off campus, we were able to have the whole team over. Every weekend, every Friday and Saturday for sure. Most of my teammates or most of the guys on the team would come over to our house and we just kind of just hang out, have fun. Whatever happens. So we just made a point to have fun and get to know each other. So I think that's how our chemistry is starting to show on the court, because we know more of each other, and we know our tendencies, and it's starting to play out. And like you said, we are starting to gel.
Hey, Sahvir, kind of 2 questions for you. One, you mentioned the living situation there. I think Coach said the other night, correct me if I'm wrong, that you're rooming with Justin Kier and Andrew Garcia.
Yes.
What are those guys like off the court? Obviously they're older than you. What are they like off the court? Who's the messy one, all that kind of stuff. And also, like, how's that helping you with your leadership type things? And number 2, just a little follow-up. I don't think anyone's asked you about your jersey number switch. So kind of what was the thought process behind switching from 15 to 2 there?
So for the jersey number switch, Jordan Harris had number 2 last year. I've always worn number 2 in high school. In middle school, I've worn, so that's kind of like my original number. And I wore 15 to honor my dad. He's worn 15 when he played high school, and that's something I wanted to do for him, to show I play for him, play for the family, play for the Wheelers on the back of my jersey. So as long with the University of Georgia, so I wore that number that year until I could get back to number 2 for this year. And as far as the living situation, it's been great. Those guys are the best roommates you could ask for. Obviously, they're older, so I kind of feel like the youngest one in the house, which is kind of new, because even last year I think I was older than Jaquan, and all my life I've been the oldest sibling. I've been the oldest child, so I kind of get a new perspective on how living works when you're not the oldest. But they're so cool. It's so easy to get along with them. They're easygoing. They're laid back at the same time. They have full of personality when you engage in conversation with them. I always learn something new on the court, off the court. We're constantly bouncing ideas off each other as far as basketball, how we could be better as a team. We're always trying to find ways that we all can hang out. So I wouldn't trade those roommates for anyone. I know all my teammates would be great roommates, but I feel like these 2 right here, they help me and I help them, and I wouldn't change it.
All right, and the final 2 questions, we're going to go to Andy Walsh and then one more question from Anthony Dasher.
Hey, Sahvir. I guess I don't know if you already answered a question about this, but just how has Tumani progressed going into this season? And, what do you think his ceiling is? I mean, he seems like very versatile, very crucial to the team. What do you think he'd get for y'all?
I'm sorry, you were breaking up a little bit, so can you kind of repeat that?
Sorry. Yeah. What do you make of, I guess, Tumani Kamara's progression heading into this season? What do you think his ceiling is, and just how important is he to y'all?
Yeah, he's a very important piece to our team. He's much of as a leader as all of us are. He's growing his leadership by example and with his verbal talk on the court. You might not be able to hear him, but he's definitely talking to us. And just from his improvement from last year to this year, I think the biggest thing is it's just been his confidence. He's much more confident in himself and how he can affect the game. And I think that's a big thing. I think basketball is 50% or more to me is confidence, knowing that you go out there, perform, trusting your work you put in the offseason, trusting your work you're putting in with Coach Hayes in the weight room. And he's starting to see that stuff come to light. And the fact that his performances are starting to, stack up on each other with consecutive great games, and I think it's only going to help him. It's only going to help our team. So I'm super proud of him. I'm happy for him, and I believe he has NBA potential, and I really think he's going to be a great player for us this year.
Hey, Sahvir, I just want to ask you again, just real quick. Coach Crean mentioned after the game the other day, you guys, I think, 67 deflections in this game, which I think is the most since, since he's been here, I think, perhaps. Just explain why that is so important. If I have to have that happen 3 games into the season, what is that saying about the way you guys are playing defensively right now?
Yeah, I think we're playing with a lot of intensity. We're playing a lot of attention to detail. I think it's just a different mindset on the defensive end of the court this year than that last year. We're making a committed effort to not only lock into the game plan, but to execute it while we're in the game. We're making a conscious effort to talk to each other, to hold each other accountable. And I think accountability, especially on the defensive end, is one of the biggest things you need in order to be a good defensive team. And yes, we still have some work to do, as in every team, but I like where we're going. I like where everyone's head's at on the defensive end, because we know offensively we were always able to score with the best of them. Obviously, offense is, our game, getting out in transition, playing fun, having fun, sharing the ball. But on defensive end, I've seen so much of a different start. And with that, the 67 deflections, which is a record since Coach Crean's been here. And we can only get better from that.
Thanks, buddy.
All right. Thanks so much.